was a kid in 3rd grade, I switched schools. And I switched over to like this really tiny private school, like a little Catholic school, and so it was the same group of kids, right, every class level. So it was like 30 kids in grade 1 who moved to grade 2, so the whole time. So you didn't have other classes or teachers. And because I was the new kid, right, and because I was also kind of like, I didn't have any older siblings, so, and my parents did let me watch TV, so I kind of didn't know what was going on sort of in the world, right? Like, I was pretty much like, not bullied like in any way like actually picked on, but it was a lot of girls in the class, and so they would just ignore me. In like 6th grade, another new girl came to the class, right? Because not a lot of people came in or out of the class. So in 6th grade, there was another new girl named Dorothy who came to the class, and everyone started picking on her because she was also kind of awkward, right? And man, I jumped right in, not even kidding. Like, I have been treated so badly by all of these girls for so long, and the second they start looking at someone else, right, I just jumped right in. Like, I didn't even think about it, you know? And it's ridiculous because it's like, I know what it felt like. I know what it was like to be this girl, right? And I just did it anyway because I was so relieved, you know, that it wasn't me for once. And it was, I mean, it was horrible.
One of my first and probably biggest memory of being bullied was in 4th grade. There was a kid in my class who started calling me Miss Piggy because I was a little chunky. And at first it was, you know, I just kind of laughed it off. But then as it started to gain like followers, people would start saying it to me in the hallway and kind of like at recess, and it was just not funny anymore, and it started to really affect my self-image. I can remember when being really little, I was probably a 2nd grader, maybe a 3rd grader, and I got my report card in the mail, and my parents were going over it with me, and it said, Caitlin has been bullying one of the other little girls at recess. And my parents said, what? You've been bullying somebody at recess? And I said, I have? I didn't realize that my behavior was causing her to be upset. And at first, I remember, you know, being really mad at my teacher and, you know, how could you, you know, tattle on me? I didn't even know I was doing something wrong. But looking back, you know, with some hindsight, I'm really, really glad that she said something, because what if the behavior I was doing, and I don't know, it must have been something like taking the ball from her, you know, calling her names or whatever it was. I was young enough that I didn't realize that that behavior was wrong.
I can remember a time when I was in elementary school and I got bullied into getting into a fight with a guy who was a really good friend of mine. And it was all like hearsay and made up stuff, right? And what happened was I tried to reason my way out of it, but people kept, you know, pushing it on, and I felt that there was no way out, so I got bullied into this situation. And as a result, I got into a fight, we both got hurt, and the guy was no longer my friend after that. So it was like a lose-lose situation. Oh, I can think of a time when I bullied my sister, Alicia, into eating something that I didn't want to eat. And I remember that she didn't want to eat it either because it looked gross and it smelled gross. And I bullied her into eating it, and she ate it. And as a result, I remember she barfed that night. And so I felt really bad about that. I learned my lesson about bullying.
First of all, if it's bad enough, you gotta let one of us know. Like I was saying earlier, having a teacher on my side was huge. And we're here as resources. So we're good. We've learned how to deal with that. We've learned what to do in those situations, and we're your best resource. And so the first thing that you can do is just let somebody know. The second thing that you can do is really mediate the conflict. I mean, so many of these problems can be solved if you just talk it out.
And we also have the ST Safety Hotline. That's 408-347-6222. Once again, that number is 408-347-6222.